What's going on YouTube? Big Dog Brett. Wanted to talk a little bit about the Auburn Georgia game, and also talk about the coaches AP poll. Some of you guys may have seen I made a video earlier in the week talking about how I was pretty upset that the coaches poll and the AP poll is always putting Georgia a little further down than I would like to see it. And again, somebody told me that, there's a big difference between the AP poll and the coaches poll, and how the coaches poll is based off, or coaches and AP poll is based off of the beginning of the season rankings. So, that may be the case. I don't agree that that's the way it should be, but it is what it is. So Auburn versus Georgia, and there's some people that are picking Auburn to upset Georgia in this, and they say that they got the numbers and whatnot. But I don't see it. I don't. Now, the reason I don't see it isn't because I'm a Georgia homer, which, I love my dogs, but the problem that I have with it is that the numbers don't really support it, again. So I'm trying to figure it out. I was like, wait a minute. Let me go back. Auburn played LSU when they were ranked number 10, and they lost. And they didn't beat. It's not like they beat the brakes off LSU. They didn't. They beat they beat LSU, but they didn't kill them. And LSU wasn't ranked at the time. And Auburn was ranked number 10. Now, you want to go out there and say, oh, well, Auburn's better than the number 1 team in the country. What? No, stop. Listen. All right, so here's what I want to do. And I did write some of this stuff down because there's too many numbers to keep in my little head. So I want to talk about, let's look at the body of work, so to speak. So a lot of websites post all the numbers and all the stats. One website in particular likes to post the last 5 games, which I think is pretty relevant into today's condition. So if we look at the last 5 games and we talk about Georgia versus Auburn tells a very different story. In the last 5 games, Georgia has scored 205 points, which is pretty good. It's like, 40 points a game. It's not bad. Auburn has scored 240. That's pretty good too. Now let's talk about defense, because offense wins the games, defense wins the championships. So you've got Georgia, which has allowed 59 points. That's not bad. Then you got Auburn, who's allowed 96. That's not that good. So if Georgia has a strong offense, which the numbers show we have a pretty strong offense, but the numbers also show we have a pretty strong defense, I'm trying to understand how Auburn's ranked above Georgia. Not ranked above Georgia, but being picked to win over Georgia. Just because we're playing in Auburn? What? Lord Jesus, help me. Out of the last 11 times we've played them, we whipped them. Last 9 out of 2, 9 to 2. 9 games to 2 games. 9 games to 2 games. That ain't even close. Alabama whipped them 3 in a straight. We've whipped them 3 straight. And it's because Gus Malzahn is still running that same program, the same thing he's been running. Who came from Alabama? That's right, Kirby Smart. And guess what? We whipped him last year when he was supposed to be close. We whipped him. And they was ranked number 8 last year. Now, I'm typically not one to brag on the past, but they don't have a lot of different players. We don't have a lot of different players. And we beat them last year. So, and we've improved. So I'm trying to figure out how in the world Auburn is supposed to beat Georgia. All right, well, let's talk about some of the body of work that Auburn's got going on. Auburn versus LSU. Ready for this? 27-3. 27-23. Yeah, 27-23. Less than a 4-point difference. LSU not that good. And by the way, I can point at that because LSU beat Florida by 1 point. Florida by 1 point. Anyway, not even close. I got so much stuff down here, and I can't even hardly read it because I'm so upset. Listen, let me break it down like this. When Auburn played LSU, which you can probably say is the only decent team they played, and don't tell me Texas A&M because I'll destroy them here in a second. LSU put up 206 yards in passing and 157 yards in rushing, 3 sacks with 7 sacks, tackles for losses. LSU's defense is not that good. It's not. Georgia's defense is outstanding. Whenever Auburn played Clemson, same thing happened. They got after the quarterback, and all of a sudden, Stadium falls apart. He can't play. You put pressure on him, he's done. You stop the rush, he's done. So now we're going to talk about the Auburn versus Texas A&M, right? Texas A&M ain't got a rush game. They don't. But they put up 143 yards on them. Texas A&M really don't have that good of a passing game, and they put 200 yards on them. Listen, Texas A&M is 5-4. 5-4 when they played Auburn. 5-4. And you say, oh, but it was 42-27. Well, it was. But let's take into consideration the fact that Auburn blocked that field goal or that punt, and Auburn took it in for an easy touchdown. Guess what ain't going to happen against Georgia? That ain't going to happen. Special teams has been fixed. If you didn't get the memo, go back and watch the games. You'll see special teams has been fixed. Let me send that out to you. So that really puts the game at a one-score game. 35-27. Texas A&M scored 27 points on y'all. What do you think them dogs is going to do? Oh, well, Jake Fromm, he's a freshman quarterback. He don't have that much experience. It doesn't matter. 22-16. What? That's not a score. That's his passing ratio for last game. The kid don't miss. If you're worried about Jake Fromm being able to open up the passing game, I'm sorry for you because you know he can. If you go back and look at his numbers, he's outstanding. Do we have to make all these complicated passes? No, we don't. That don't mean he can't make them. And some idiot announcer, yeah, I'll say an idiot, he said a lot of the passes that Jake Fromm makes is uncontested. Good. That's who you're supposed to throw the ball to. You don't throw the guy that's in triple coverage locked up. You throw it to the guy that's wide open on a slant. Anybody that has watched, even played a video game in football knows that. So you worried about Jake Fromm making these uncontested throws? Okay, throw it to the guy. Throw it to the check down guy. How many times you hear an announcer say that? Man, I should have threw it to the check down guy. Oh, he should have thrown it out of bounds. Well, now all of a sudden you got announcers that are criticizing Jake Fromm because he's not making these hard passes. It's not that he can't. He just don't have to. Oh, well, the defense, the defending core, the cornerbacks and the wide back on Auburn's pretty good. Okay. So go ahead and sell out on stopping the pass. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to have cleat prints all over your linemen. They're going to be in size Chubb, size Michelle, and size Swift. That's what you're going to have on them. So go ahead and sell out on the pass. That's fine. Oh, you want to sell out on the run? That's not a problem either. Guarantee you that Jake Fromm is going to find somebody open. He just will. Now, I didn't get to have this conversation that I normally have with some of my friends, is that you want to know what's going on, with Georgia's offense, Georgia's defense. Georgia don't have a lot of sacks this year. Hadn't needed them. Pretty much the game plan, from what I can see, is not really to get after the quarterback with a bunch of blitzes. It is to contain the quarterback so he can't run. Contain the run. Don't worry about trying to stop it. Teams are only averaging like 3 and 4 yards per carry. Why would you want to try to create these big gaps by getting after the quarterback? Let the quarterback sit back there. Make him throw. That's been Georgia's MO all year. Make them one-dimensional and then whip them. That's what we've been doing. Works great. Why change it? But the one factor that I see that does make a big difference is that in the games that Auburn has lost, there have been games where, like with the Clemson game and the LSU game, where they did get after the quarterback, where they did pressure the quarterback, his numbers fell apart. He played worse than a freshman. And I say that because he's making bad throws, missing throws, missing plays, not doing what he needs to, and their game literally fell apart. I mean, I don't even think they had 10 points against Clemson. Clemson's defense is not stellar. It's good. It's good. It's not elite. Is what it is. Anyway, so one more thing I wanted to go over here is that if you look at Auburn on the season, you look, yeah, you know, they win by 2 touchdowns, and they have some games that are blowouts. But if you look at the trend of their past few games, they started allowing more and more points ever since the Mississippi State game, 23, 24, 25 points. And that's against Ole Miss, which is a dumpster fire, LSU, which is not that good. Arkansas got 20 points on you, so we know there's no defense there. And Texas A&M put up 27. So, I mean, we're not talking about powerhouse offenses. We're talking about average run-of-the-mill college football offenses that are putting 3 and 4 touchdowns on you. All these teams are raking in well over 100 yards on, well over 100 yards on rushing. Georgia's averaging 200-something yards a game. Okay, and these guys are almost putting those numbers on you. I can't wait to see how y'all gonna stop and run against Georgia. I'm waiting to see this awesome defense all these guys keep talking about ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. So this 3, 4, 5 point crap is garbage. No. Auburn's not going to win by anything. No, Auburn ain't going to win at all. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see Georgia go out there. They're going to contain the run, and then Auburn's going to try and pass it. And I guarantee you all week long that those cornerbacks, our safeties, our linebackers have been practicing all the tape that they have against Auburn to shut it down. You're not going to see hardly any offense out of Auburn. You're going to see another Clemson game. You're going to see them get heartbroken in the first half, and they get shut down. Oh, by the way, if anybody's a Georgia fan has been keeping up with the numbers, let me back up one quick second here because I want to make sure I get the numbers right. Georgia, everybody knows Georgia's third quarter defense is outstanding. I think we've allowed every bit of 6 points the entire season in the third quarter. 6 points. That's not a lot at all. That's not even a touchdown and a PAT. It's nothing. But if we look in the third quarter of Auburn versus Texas A&M, they scored 14 points. So if you take away the block punt or block field goal for a touchdown, that's 7 points. You take away the other 14 points off the board, that's all of a sudden it's 21 points off the board. Now it's 21-27 Texas A&M. And Texas A&M is not good. So I'm looking forward to Saturday's game. To me, it's another prime case of not giving these guys right here, they're just dudes. I know Georgia has a track record of looking good and falling apart. Them days are gone. So anyway, I'll be looking for y'all on Saturday down in the comment section, talking smack. Whatever you got to do, I don't care. If you think Auburn's going to beat Georgia, go ahead right over here in the comment section and leave me a little something down there so we can have a discussion about it. Because the numbers don't prove that Auburn's going to win. Don't even look like it's going to be close. So, give a score prediction for the game. I'll say 28. I want to give Auburn 14 because I think they might hit a couple of big passes. So I'll say 28-14, maybe 28-17. But Auburn's not winning this game. It's not happening. So Auburn, the War Beagles, no, that's not it. The Tigers, no. Oh man, what is y'all's name? I don't even know who y'all don't even know who y'all are. Anyway. Listen. Your coach, I bet he's already filled out that resume. I bet he's already got that resume lined up. So another coach killer. Another coach being brought to slaughter. Anyway, we'll be looking for y'all on Saturday. And go Dogs.